Hello again, everybody. It's time for maths now. And as you know, we are just for the last few days of this half term working through some consolidation lessons, which means we're kind of going over some of the units which we spent a long time on earlier in the year and just revisiting them just briefly, just to sort of touch upon some of those things we've learned and make sure we're all feeling confident in some of those skills which we've picked up along the way. So it was really good to revisit things that you've already learned and just make sure that you're still confident with it, still know what you're doing. Because the more your brain accesses some of that information, some of that learning, the more it's going to stick. So we're thinking today about multiplication and division. And I'd like you to start by saying what multiplication and division facts are shown in this array. An array is a way of representing multiplication and division, which we looked at earlier in the year. So can you pause the video here and tell me what multiplication and division facts are shown here? So we have two rows, each of 4. So we've got 2 lots of 4. That's 2 times 4. And there are 8 in total. So we've got 2 times 4 is 8. Or to put it another way, 4 times 2 is 8. And of course, we've also got those corresponding division facts as well. We've got 8 divided by 4 is 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. We could represent that really clearly by kind of drawing on groups here. I could have said, right, I've got 2 groups of 4. That's 2 lots of 4. And equally, we could have split it up the other way. We could have started doing it like this, and we'd have had 4 groups of 2. You get the idea. So we were looking at arrays. And we sometimes call it, when we have 4 number facts like that, a fact family. And you can show these on a triangle, because if you know 2 of the points, you can find out the other one. So we know, for example, 6 times 3 is 18. But it also works the other way around as well. You can do 18 divided by 6 is 3, or 18 divided by 3 is 6. So these sort of 3 numbers, we could put them together in a little fact family, and then we get these 4 number facts. And we can use familiar number facts to find out related number facts. So use these familiar facts in red to work out the others. So I'd like you to pause the video here. I'm giving you the familiar number facts. These are the ones that hopefully you will know from our times tables, the ones in red. And I'd like you to use those to work out these slightly trickier ones here. So you might see, for example, that on some of them, the question is 10 times bigger. So rather than being 3 times 4, it's 30 times 4. And so our answer is going to be 10 times bigger as well. So have a little think about how you can use your familiar number facts to find out some related number facts. And we'll come back and do the answers in just a moment. Okay, so our first one then, 30 times 4 is 120. That's like 12, but 10 times bigger, because 30 is 10 times bigger than 3. So 120 is 10 times bigger than 12. 3 times 40 is 120. And then 120 divided by 3 is 40. 120 divided by 4 is 30. Over here, we've got 300 is the answer to both of these ones. And then we've got 60 and 50. And over here, 140 would be our answers for these first 2. And then we'd have 70 and 20. So we just looked at some mental strategies for working things out. We did look at an informal written strategy for working out division. Now, you might be looking at this thinking, you know what, actually, I'd feel confident knowing that. Maybe you're really up to speed on your 4 times table and you know that from your number facts, which would be great. If you didn't, we could use an informal written method to help us work this one out. Now, it says 16 divided by, so the divide symbol, divided by 4. And we know divide means splitting into equal groups, or sharing into equal groups. So we're going to be sharing into 4 equal groups. So what we did, we drew our 4 equal groups. So the way we did that for our informal written method, and by informal I mean just a kind of a drawn method. When you're in older year groups, you will move on to a more formal method of division, but for year 3, we just have a kind of simple drawn method so that we can get this idea of sharing into equal groups. Now, there are my 4 equal groups I can share into, and I want to share 16 into those 4 groups. And we did that using some dots. So let's have a practice of that now. I could go, oh, sorry, that's way too big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And now I can see how many are in each group. It's 4, isn't it? They've all got an equal share of 4. Now, we also looked at how we could do this with slightly larger numbers, because we said, okay, yeah, we could do our 2 equal groups like we did before, but we're unlikely really to want to be sharing out 82 dots. You'd be here for ages on my videos, and I'm sure you don't want that. So we looked at how we can actually partition our 82 into the tens, that's 80, and the ones, which is obviously 2. And we could split those two things up in different ways. So I can split my 80 up by putting in some tens. Now in school, we have some 10 sticks. For the purposes of our informal written method, we can just draw some lines for this. So I'm going to have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80, with each of these 10 sticks representing 10. And I've got 2 left to share out, and that's just going to be 1, 2. And so now I can look in here and I can see I've got, well, 4 10 sticks in each one, so that must be 40. And then 1 left over, so it has to be 41. So that's an informal division method we've used. Can you have a go at doing these ones, please? So pause the video now and use that informal division method to draw the following questions. Give that a go. Okay, hopefully you've managed that. We've got here 34, here 32, and here we've got 21. Okay, moving on to our main bit of learning for today then, and probably the main bit of learning from our multiplication and division unit in year 3, which is our formal multiplication method. So a bit unlike that division one, which I'm calling an informal method, which means just a kind of bit of a drawn one, just a kind of simple one. We've got here a more formal multiplication strategy. And this is where we're laying it out really nicely in columns. So just like we did yesterday, just like we do all through the year, we're laying this out really carefully, making sure to lay out 143 in the right columns. We know that 143 has 100, 4 tens and 3 ones, so we lay it out like so. When it's times by 2, again, I'm going to put that 2 in the ones column because we know it's just a ones number. Now, I'm going to do this with, you'll remember this from when we did it, I'm going to draw some hoops on and kind of color code this. Now, when you actually do yours, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do the hoops. You don't need to do the color coding. And perhaps I'll show you that on the next one. But I sometimes do this when I'm talking it through, just so you can see exactly which parts I'm doing and where the answer then goes. So I'm going to start off here timesing my 2, that's the number I'm timesing it by the ones number. So I'm going to do 2 times 3, that's 6. So I times it by the ones and then put my answer in the ones column. So 2 times 3 is 6. And then I'm going to do 2 times the tens number. So I'm going to do 2 times 4, and I'm going to put my answer in the tens column because it's the tens number. So 2 lots of 4 is 8. We could think of that as 2 lots of 40 is 80 because it's in the tens column. And last one again, I'm going to do 2 times my hundreds number now. So that's 2 times 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. So my answer there, 286. Let's look at that again now with some trickier numbers, particularly where we might need to do a little bit of carrying over. So it starts in the same way. We're always going to lay it out really carefully. So in my case, 350 is a tens number, so that 5-digit goes in there, and 1 on its own times by 3. Now this time I'm not going to color code this. I'm not going to do the hoops or anything, just so you can see how we're normally going to lay it out. 3 times 1 is 3. Now 3 times 15 is a bit trickier because I know I can't do this. I can't just squeeze in the 1 and the 5 into that tens column because we can't have 2 digits in one box. So I can't actually do that. So what am I going to do with that 15 then? I know I need a 1 and a 5. I'm going to carry over the 1 into the next column and write my 5 here. And you can see there, I've got 15, it's in the right order, 1 and then a 5, that's my 15. And if you think about it, 15 tens would be the same as 105 tens, which is why it's there. You might remember that from when we did our work with equipment. And now I'm going to go into my hundreds column and I'm going to do 3 times 3. Well, I know that's 9, but I've got this little 1 here as well. So it's not 9, but 10. And so now, again, I can't just squeeze 10 in there. So it's going to need to carry over. I'm going to have a 1 and a 0. Now, I could think of this as 3 times nothing. But really, because it's nothing there, we know it's going to be 0. So it's 3 times nothing is 0. Plus the 1 is 1. So don't worry that my answer box wasn't quite big enough. We can always extend that if we need to. You can just, oh, sorry about the lack of a ruler there, you get the idea. And we can see my answer is 1053, which is 1053. Let's do one more together and then you can have a go at this by yourself. So make sure you're really paying attention so that you're feeling really confident on this because you're about to do this yourself. You're about to practice this formal multiplication method and really make sure you know what you're doing with it. So maybe actually you can tell me what to do now. 5 times 2, that's right, it's 10. And it's 5 times 1 plus the 1 is 6. And my last, whoa, sorry, don't mind that. And my last one is 5 times 6 in my hundreds column. Well, 5 times 6 is 30. I'll tell you what, I wonder if you can spot the mistake I make. 30, there we go, 30. What's the mistake I've made? I wonder if you've got it. Yeah, I've got my numbers round the wrong way, haven't I? If I want 30, it needs to, ooh, that's no good. It needs to be a 3 and then a 0. So I can't write it round that way. I've got to write it a 3 first in that larger column, and then my 0 afterwards. So it's going to be like this. And again, I could do 5 times nothing in this remaining column, but I do need to bring up that 3 as well. So it's 3060. Okay, give this a go yourself today. There is mild, medium, and spicy, so you can choose a level of challenge that suits you. The answers are coming up at the end. Good luck with these. Have fun. Okay, here are the answers then. So hopefully you've paused the video at the right one for you and you've found what you need. Well done today, everybody. Hopefully you've had a chance to mark yours and you're feeling good about multiplication and division. So we'll be back. Oh, no, sorry. One more thing. So I keep forgetting. Oh, so efficient. All right. If you'd like to, a nice thing to end today with might be another version of the nasty game. So this is something that we introduced yesterday when we were doing addition and subtraction. But you can also play this with multiplication and division. Any of these nasty games, really, you can adapt and tweak it to whatever kind of level or work you want. So you can play with someone else. You each need a game board that looks like this with 3 spaces, a multiplication sign, and then times by 1 number. You could extend it on the top if you wanted. So you could have maybe 4 times 1 or even 2 times 1 if you wanted. But let's not extend it on the bottom. We don't really know yet how to times by 2 or 3-digit numbers. So make sure whatever it is, it's times by 1. And you can mix it up a bit today. Maybe you can say your aim is to have the lowest answer on your board. While you're playing, have a really good think. Which spaces will have the biggest impact on your answer? So do you want your low numbers here? Do you want your low numbers here? Is this one going to have much of an impact? Maybe this is the best place to put it. Have a good think while you're playing, and that will really reinforce for you your column value and your place value knowledge. Okay, I hope you enjoy that, everybody, and I will see you back tomorrow for the last day before half term. Woohoo! Have a good day until then, everyone. Bye.